From Manhattan to the White House, a K-State alumnus came back to campus to share his story and success.
And with Election Day right around the corner, how can your voice be heard this November?
Coming up on Channel 8 News, the annual Ozfest here in Wamego, Kansas.
Join us for a first look at K-State's men's basketball team's first practice.
We're currently experiencing some pretty windy area around us right now, and some clouds are covering the area. Stay tuned for a closer look at our weather coming up next.
This is KKSU-LD, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Clarissa Weirs.
And I am Erica Young. Thanks for joining us.
A student in Marlatt Hall was stabbed early Wednesday morning by his roommate during an altercation. Campus police arrested Dustin Galicia, a freshman studying biology, charging him with aggravated battery, according to the Collegian. His roommate, Christopher Stutler, who is studying microbiology, was treated at Via Christi Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. At this time, Galicia has been released from custody, according to the university. Fort Riley is now under new leadership. Major General Joseph Martin is the new commander of the Big Red One. Martin replaces Major General Wayne Grigsby, who was relieved of his command several days earlier. The Army released few details surrounding the exit of Grigsby, citing a lack of confidence in his ability to lead and reporting they have launched an official investigation. Grigsby had been the commanding officer of Fort Riley for over a year. The new commander, Joseph Martin, was previously the commanding general of the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, California, and has served multiple deployments in Iraq. This change in leadership comes just a few weeks before soldiers from the 1st Infantry Division are scheduled to deploy.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, young adult voters between the age of 18 through 24 have consistently voted at lower rates than other age groups in every presidential election since 1962. On average, less than half eligible young adult voters will actually make it to the polls for the national presidential election. 10% of the United States population is between the age of 18 and 24. Many young adult voters feel their votes did not make an impact for the final result. In many cases, they did not register to vote in time or don't know where to vote. More participations from young adults could make a big impact in making their voice heard at the polls for Election Day.
We just had the instruction time for registering voters. These people that were here were all volunteers, and they are going to register voters on September 27th. Right now, it means a lot. Right now, it always does. That if you don't vote, you don't get a voice in what is happening. There's just so many things happening. You can make change that way if you do vote. You can make changes happen.
Kansas State students can register to vote at the Riley County Courthouse or online at kdor.ks.gov. Do you know your rights? Legal issues can be a mystery for many college students. Delta Upsilon Fraternity and Pi Beta Phi Sorority hosted a Know Your Rights event last week. The event featured Kansas State Student Legal Service attorney Sarah Barr. Barr was there to inform students of their rights as a student and person. Barr's presentation featured info and demonstrations about all students' rights, especially scenarios where alcohol is involved. Kansas State junior Nick Hess said it's important info for all students to know.
People get into situations when they have too much alcohol, or even when they don't have enough alcohol, or any alcohol at all, I should say. But like, a cop might come up to you and talk to you, and you don't know your rights, you don't know what to do, so you might get in more trouble just by saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing.
If students want to know more about their rights, they can contact Sarah Barr with K-State Student Law Services on the website below.
Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my, a classic Kansas film brings the community together.
And winter is approaching fast. With the decrease in temperatures, many have concerns about rising energy costs. Grant Flanders has some tips on how to make your energy bill drop along with the temperatures.
What ignites inspiration? It's sparked in every victory, every banner carried high. It's lit in traditions that bind each generation together. It's found in the people who push us to never settle. and to serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition, passion, you.
From the golden flowers that give our state its nickname, to Kansas City's smoky scarlet barbecue, past the unique tint of limestone bedrock, we drive with pride to support future K-Staters. From the hilltops of Lawrence to the familiar streets of Aggieville, we love to show our purple pride. Whether you are K-State alumni or Wildcat fans, purchase the #1 Affinity license plate in Kansas today and help us paint the highway purple.
Land Grant University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next, what will save lives and better the world. Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land-grant university? Community, progress, you.
The town of Wamego is no stranger to celebration. From their annual Tulip Festival to their famous 4th of July, residents know how to party.
Last week, visitors and residents took to the streets once again to remember a story that is as famous as the state itself, The Wizard of Oz. Reporter Katie Howland takes us down the Yellow Brick Road.
I'm here in Wamego, Kansas at the annual Ozfest, where community members and small businesses alike have both gathered to celebrate The Wizard of Oz.
All along 4th Street, among lions and tin men, local businesses gathered to showcase their products and services. To Nicole Cradaville, this was the perfect opportunity for her to promote her new small business, Crafts Creations.
It's been a very busy day, so I'm very grateful for that because this is a new business and definitely this has helped me.
Cradaville creates her own primitive country-style candles, salon products, and home decor.
I started realizing that all my friends were like, oh, where do you get these candles from? And so I thought, well, what a great idea.
Among all the booths, scarecrows, tin men, and lions filled the street. This annual festival celebrates the importance of the Wizard of Oz to the community. Wizard of Oz themed games, costumes, and food were all part of the celebration. Face paint, bouncy houses, and cakewalks kept the kids entertained while the adults could take a trip to the Oz Museum and Oz Winery, one of many events Wamego holds to create a tight-knit community atmosphere.
Everybody's very friendly. It's just, you can see how much spirit there is in this town. And
for the members of the small community of Wamego, there truly is no place like home. Reporting for Channel 8 News, I'm Katie Howland.
Fall activities in Wamego continues this month. Trick or Treat Downtown Wamego on October the 31st from 5 to 7 p.m. More information can be found at visitwamego.com.
While Wamego had their own celebration last weekend, another kind of fair is taking place right now in the Union Ballroom. A benefits fair is held every October during open enrollment for benefits for all employees at Kansas State University. It includes presentations regarding employee health insurance, financial providers and healthcare experts are on hand to answer any questions. We now go live to Channel 8 reporter Hannah Wirtz with more details. Hannah?
Okay, I'm here with the Management Director of Benefits here at K State. So we have vendors, all of our vendors for our employee benefits are here to share their information, answer questions for all of our employees, and just form relationships with them as well. Also, do you have flu shots today? We do. We have flu shots offered by the Clean Health Clinic, which is our clinic here at Kansas State University, and they offer those for our employees. We have about 55 eligible employees and about 10,000 employees overall. Back to the desk. walking. We're actually having a chair yoga class today that's going to focus on how we fit in our work. Okay, this is gonna work. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, for that insight. Well, from courts to couches, the competition is getting tough with electronic competitors.
Is it that time to bring out those cold weather gear? Our weather reporter Tony Canizato has more forecasts.
I know a spot that I love full well.
'Tis not in forest, nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me with magic spell.
I think of thee, alma mater.
We'll carry thy banner high. Long, long, may thy colors fly.
Loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
We may take different paths, but we all move forward, preparing for our future in the same historic library. We meet friends in the bustling student union and experience the exciting atmosphere of campus events. We appreciate individual interests and shared passions. Many different paths, one distinct destination. How does campus life become life experience? Connections, involvement, you.
The Fitzwater intro from the desk.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News.
While Mother Nature changes gear from summer to fall, customers may end up paying more energy costs if they aren't careful.
That's right. Channel 8 reporter Grant Flanders is here to fill us in with some fall energy conservation tips.
I went out and found one Manhattan resident who noticed he was paying a bit more than he was used to in electricity. I coupled that with someone who was able to fill me in with some tips on how to save on those bills. Take a look at just what might be the main culprits raising your energy and lowering your bank account.
With the seasons changing, energy conservation should be high on everyone's list. I met with Cam Redman, a Manhattan resident and Anderson Village apartment tenant, to discuss his high energy bills.
I mean, it would be nice to know where all your energy is going, but unfortunately when you view your bill, there's not that option. You just see how much energy you've used, not actually like broken down to what's doing what.
Many Manhattan residents like Cam have to worry about their energy bill every month. Without guidance, meters like these can eat up your money in a hurry. I spoke with Little Apple apartment manager Gareth Rohr for some fall energy saving tips.
Make sure that your windows are shut and sealed to reduce air leaks, and always change your filter in your HVAC system so that you can get proper airflow from room to room.
Gareth added something that concerned Cam, that is, what uses the most energy.
High electricity users are like your refrigerator, your oven, your air conditioner, heater, space heaters, and blow dryers.
He adds that modern technology is efficient enough and doesn't need to be worried about.
That your TVs today are so efficient that it's not really as impactful as those other large ticket items.
As for Cam, he uses his own energy saving routine.
I definitely make sure everything's off before I go to sleep. I've even went to the extent of turning off my surge protectors when I go to sleep. Making sure the AC is not too low. Even trying to turn the AC off before I leave the house.
Heating a house or apartment can be done with gas, but is more dangerous in multi-tenant buildings than with electricity. Gas saves more money, but the risk is factored into every property owner's decision.
Thanks, Grant, for this story. For more tips on how to save energy and keep your bills down, visit energy.gov/energy saver.
And we might have a chance to put some of those energy tips to use this next week. Channel 8 weatherman Tony Canizato is here to fill us in on what's in store.
Well, it looks like there's going to be a hurricane in Florida, and it's called Hurricane Matthew. It will hit today. Georgia and the Carolinas will be affected by Friday. impacts will be damaging winds, storm surges, and flooding. And now to the national map. We have 61 in Seattle, 84 in Los Angeles, and 93 in Dallas. It's looking a little bit warmer in the southern region. And up north, it's looking mid-70s. And down south again, we have 80 in Atlanta and 74 in New York. Now to the other national map, we have sunny in California and a little cloudy area in Dallas. We have clouds here in Kansas. It's going to lead to probably more storms for the afternoon. It's raining in Seattle, raining up in the northeast corner, and sunny again in Florida. Now to the Kansas map, we have 55 in Sherman, 78 in Gray. So again, it's going to be a little bit warm in the southern regions, but here in the northeast corner of the Kansas map, we have 80s and 80 closer to Kansas City. And to our 5-day forecast, looks like we're going to have 80 for today, but it's going to be possible thunderstorms and even maybe tornadoes. So make sure to get to the lowest part of your house and keep updated on that by checking your weather constantly. And throughout the rest of the week, it's looking high 60s and 70s for the weekend. So it'll be a great weekend. Back to you at the front desk, Erica.
Thank you. From wheat fields to White House, the exhibit documenting Marlin Fitzwater's remarkable career as White House press. Channel 8's Lauren Kofer has more information on that.
Kansan, graduate of Kansas State and one of the longest-serving White House spokesmen, visited Hale Library to mark the opening of the exhibit documenting his White House career.
This library has really done a remarkable job of cataloging my papers, of guiding me in terms of my collection of the papers. The exhibit that you see here today is such a wonderful laying out of my life. I mean, I just wish my mom and dad were here to see I turned out okay.
The exhibit documenting his journey from Abilene to the White House is displayed here on the 5th floor of Hale Library. Fitzwater is the only press secretary in history to have worked for 2 different presidents. More than 850 documents, including press briefings spanning Fitzwater's 10-year White House career, including 6 as press secretary for both Reagan and George H.W. Bush.
I had to learn kind of how both of them preferred to do things, but it was a challenging opportunity, and I'm glad. Today, a lot of press secretaries don't stay so long. And I don't really know why I did, but I loved it. I loved the work. I liked the people. I got in arguments with press people all the time, but generally speaking, I had a great time. So it was a good experience.
The exhibit will be on display until March 2017 and contains documents, pictures, and artifacts from Fitzwater's time in Washington. From the top floor of Hale Library, I'm Lauren Kofer, Channel 8 News.
The beginning of the new season means a fresh start for one of the K-State athletics team.
And little houses with a big impact. A new trend coming to Manhattan.
Better get ready, because here come the Wildcats.
Wiesman, does she hit a fourth? Oh my goodness, in the zone!
Lewis running the floor, catches, spins, and scores. How about that footwork? K-State have won in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
The heart-pounding roar, a sea of purple, wielding twists and turns, a sincere smile and simple phrase. Legacies that span generations, blurring the line between fans and family. Believing we bleed a different color. Foundations defined by a single stone. That special place you love full well. What makes traditions unforgettable? Loyalty, Purple, you.
Oh man, you know, the fans, you know, Manhattan, you know, Octagon the door, it's a tough place to play, you know, we feed off the energy.
While the fall weather is cooling us down, sports continues to heat up. Let's check in with Channel 8's Jennifer Edgar, who has today's update.
Thanks, guys. It's been a big week for K-State men's basketball team. Channel 8 News reporter Carolina Mack talked with head basketball coach Bruce Weber after the team's first practice.
K-State's men's basketball team had their first practice of the 2016-2017 season Friday, September 30th.
I think the guys did a great job. Obviously, the first day we were excited. Had a good spring, good summer, the trip to Europe, and a good fall. Great room on the basketball court, and I think they're ready to go. They're very committed to taking a nice step as a team, and I think that'll happen. And they set the tone today in today's practice. This is their first practice. Guys getting used to the fast pace. Get ready for the season, and guys just come out and compete today, so that's pretty good for the first practice. So you got 5 freshmen. I'm sure they're tired, but they've worked hard and they followed the good lead of the seniors to put in that effort that you need to be successful.
Now that the NCAA collegiate basketball schedule has officially started, Weber and his coaching staff have 30 practices within 42 days before their first conference game.
We've been working hard, and nobody goes into the season setting low expectations. We work really hard on off season, so the ball's really nice.
Coming to you from the K-State men's and women's basketball training facility, I'm Carolina Mack reporting for Channel 8 News.
Kick off their 2016-2017 season on October 28th at 7 p.m. against Pittsburgh State in Bramlage Coliseum. For more information, visit kstatesports.com. When one thinks about sports, odds are they think about football or basketball. But a tournament that is more of a sport than some might think has recently evolved in just the last few years. Channel 8 News reporter Sophia Woodard tells us how electronic athletes compete in the 21st century.
K-State's Esports Club held their first fall tournament of the year on October 2nd, pulling competitors from all around Kansas to Manhattan to compete for prizes starting as small as lanyards, all the way up to cash prizes and high-dollar mice and gaming headsets. Some teams even traveled hours to play in the tournament. Matt Smith was among those weary travelers.
Team KC is from Kansas City. All 5 of us live somewhere around the Kansas City area, and I heard about this tournament from a friend online. He just linked me to the Facebook page.
While this is not the first tournament the K-State Esports have held, it is the first hosting both League of Legends and Overwatch, a game that only just came out this summer.
This is the first time we've had a tournament featuring 2 games successfully. We've tried in the past, never had the participation required, and this is our first Overwatch tournament that we've had. We have over 16 teams between both games, and lots of people here just enjoying the games.
While League of Legends has been played competitively for the last 6 years, with Overwatch's more recent release, where the game as a competitive sport will go can't be said yet. But Trevor Schul thinks the game has great potential.
I think Overwatch can be a really popular competitive sport if Blizzard, the company who made it, does the right things to make sure it's good for spectators.
As for League of Legends, the enthusiasm has yet to die down, and for Matt, it was all worth it.
This event was super, super well run. It's always kind of sketchy going to tournaments, especially driving this far. It's like 2.5 hours for us, but it was super, super well run, and we were very pleasantly surprised.
On K-State's campus for Channel 8 News, I'm Sophia Woodard.
Well, for sports this week, tune in next week here on Channel 8 News for all your sports headlines. Now let's head back to the desk.
Game day is just around the corner. Tony has more on what you might want to wear this weekend.
Better get ready, because here come the Wildcats.
Wiesman, does she hit a 4th? Oh my goodness, in the zone!
Lewis running the floor, catches, spins, and scores. How about that footwork? K-State have won in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
The heart-pounding roar, a sea of purple, wielding twists and turns, a sincere smile and simple phrase. Legacies that span generations, blurring the line between fans and family. Believing we bleed a different color. Foundations defined by a single stone. That special place you love full well. What makes traditions unforgettable? Loyalty. Purple. You.
Man, you know, the fans, you know, Manhattan, you know, Octagon the door, it's a tough place to play. You know, we feed off the energy.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News.
Is there a link between affordable housing and a healthier life? Kansas State University professors Brandon Irwin and Julia Day think there just might be. They plan on spending the next year investigating this theory by observing tiny house villages around the country. Reporter Vanessa Vlasic has the story.
Or dwellings, generally less than 400 square feet in size, are seeing a surge in popularity due to their affordability, sustainable construction, and green living practices. Irwin, a professor of kinesiology at Kansas State, focuses on discovering why people are physically active while motivating people who aren't. He discusses a few of the potential health benefits for owners of these miniature-sized houses.
You know, creating a better sense of community, sort of satisfying people's basic needs for relationships. A lot of these tiny house villages have community gardens in them, and so, you know, you're also getting some more physical activity if you're participating in that. And you're also eating healthier, which might have sort of a snowball effect in, you know, wanting or being more physically active as well.
Starting in September, the two will begin interviewing tiny house residents and village founders on the day-to-day aspects of living in these communities, along with the challenges that they face. There are still questions for researchers to tackle concerning their specific health benefits, but Irwin is confident that looking into this field will provide insight into a unique and affordable living option.
You know, how did you start this village? You know, how are you funding this village? How are you managing it? You know, what were the challenges that you faced? And talk to the people that live there. You know, how physically active are you? You know, what do you like about living here? What don't you like about living here? And really exploring this as a sort of viable option for addressing affordable housing.
Irwin is also putting theory into practice through the construction of a tiny house here in Manhattan, Kansas.
Also, don't forget that the election is just over 1 month away, and the deadline to register to vote is October 18th.
Well, that's going to do it for today's news.
This is Channel 8 News.